How's it going, everybody? Buy any gold lately? Welcome to a brand new episode of Crypto Clout. I am your host, FaZe Crypto, and today we will be talking about Bitcoin, currently valued at 8,670. We're currently seeing a pretty much predictable thing happen. Markets tend to, we have sort of a pandemic on our hands. I really don't use that word too often, and I use it sort of with a bad taste in my mouth because I honestly think that this whole corona thing isn't even as bad as the flu, and I think that it's sort of just like the media hops on board, and it's fine because it's getting us some cheap Bitcoin. And of course, it is interesting to see the Bitcoin tested under these current circumstances because this is the sort of stuff that at one point when we were seeing the early stages of this sort of news and the fear campaign, all this sort of stuff on a global scale, it was interesting to see how Bitcoin was sort of pumping. And then of course now it's sort of when you're banking on fear, when Warren Buffett said that Bitcoin was a storage of fear, I think that it was an interesting perspective on Bitcoin. Of course, we've got a lot of different multiple variables that have come into place with this recent dip from February to the current day. In just 6 days, we've seen Bitcoin lose, quite a bit of its value, and this is in keeping with a prediction that I made. I was telling you guys in a live stream, a week and a half ago. I was saying that if you tune into the technical analysis videos, you'll hear my predictions on this stuff. And I was saying a $7,000 Bitcoin before the halving is not out of the question, and I'm still sticking by that prediction. We're only $650 away before we get into that $7,000 range of Bitcoin, and we will see. Hold me to that prediction. So anyway, we've got you okay, Boomer. Gold sees biggest loss since 2013 as Bitcoin steadies. Bitcoin saw a difficult week as it hit 1 month lows, but on gold markets, traders were nursing the biggest daily falls in over 7 years. Gold dropped 7% in 5 days. Of course, the sell-off with the whole Corona beer sort of stuff. Now, over the past 5 days, gold broadly succumbed to the sell-offs affecting traditional markets due to the ongoing outbreak. So it is interesting just to see. Of course, we've got the Fed contemplating, prompted easing. Of course, Bitcoin traders bet on halving. It's interesting just on one aspect of it, just to see Bitcoin popping up all the time now. When we see just these almost regular news articles that would otherwise just be talking about the news, constantly getting compared to Bitcoin is a thing that's good for Bitcoin long term, I would say. So such action by the Fed could, in theory, help Bitcoin prices, since lower rates would likely reduce the appeal of income-yielding assets such as the U.S. Treasury bonds, according to analysis tracking the 11-year-old cryptocurrency. So far, the Fed has not said whether it would cut rates. With Chair Jerome Powell talking, of course, taking wait and see attitude, and I think we all sort of know what that means. Anyway, here's how you can invest in Bitcoin retirement plans, because I don't think that gold, let's face it, gold, everybody you go and buy some gold down at a local jewelry shop, you're going to be paying a couple $1,000s. You buy a wedding ring, you're basically going to be paying a full Bitcoin for that wedding ring. But hell, you get divorced and you try to re-up on some of that value on that wedding gold that you bought. Well, it's going to be tough. You're probably going to get a couple $100. You're probably going to lose about 90% of your investment there. But Bitcoin is always worth one Bitcoin, and people are always willing to pay the price of a Bitcoin, especially on exchanges and so forth. Just a perspective that it's something that people do notice. I think it's something that does not go unnoticed, and especially while we see the cryptocurrency hype starts to build up, and of course many people starting to notice the reality of what's happening with digitalized assets. These are just the baby steps that we need to take for the concept of digital assets to really get into the mind of the public. And it's all part of mass adoption. Of course, Bitcoin retirement plans, all these different things, local pandemic. But what I want to talk about here, and I want to show this video, which is, of course, explaining why Warren Buffett isn't a great person to listen to on technology, and why Bitcoin's monetary policy is superior to fiat monetary policy, of course. So let's watch it, and just then we'll go back into the analysis.
Very dismissive yesterday. He said shorting suitcases, i.e., people laundering money, perhaps they're not going to use suitcases anymore, they're going to use things like digital assets, Bitcoin specifically.
So my two things with Warren, first of all, somebody should tell him that Wells Fargo, one of the companies in his portfolio, recently was found guilty of helping the Sinaloa cartel launder a lot of money. So I don't know necessarily.
Fake accounts, I guess, would be the. I don't have necessarily proof on anything else, but obviously things like that with Wells Fargo have been a concern.
And the second thing is, I don't really take technology advice from somebody who uses a flip phone or doesn't use email, right? Again, you shouldn't ask me for value investing advice, and so he kind of has his domain, which he's the best in the world.
What you're saying is Warren Buffett doesn't get it, so stay out of it, basically.
People will listen to his opinion because he's one of the best investors of all time. When it comes to technology, though, I think there's better people to listen to than Warren Buffett.
You're saying he's behind the curve, seriously behind the curve. Talk to me about Sweden, because they've launched a digital coin, or at least they're testing the testing phases. They are way more advanced, it seems, than even the Chinese, who are clearly pumping a lot of money and investment into this.
So these central bank digital currencies are all coming, and really what I think people need to understand is all of the central bank digital currencies are simply taking the existing monetary policy and changing the technology form factor, right? What Bitcoin does is it actually is a different monetary policy. It's not a fiat inflationary type model, and so ultimately what we're going to have is a competition of currencies, but it's not going to be a competition on technology. It won't be, are they digital, are they not? Everything will be digital. Instead, what we're going to have is a competition of monetary policy. That's, I think, where we believe that the Bitcoin monetary policy is superior to central bank monetary policies, and ultimately Bitcoin will be the winner and will be the next global reserve currency at some point in the future.
We're going to continue this conversation. There's always more to discuss. You're 100,000 call by 2021, and we're going to come back to that energy, the renewables. I'm going to do some digging. And Steve Pompilano there. Thank you.
So it is interesting to see, what we've been watching happen. I mean, we've got the halving coming up now, only a few short weeks away. So it will be very interesting to see how the space continues to develop. And you know me, I'm a buy the dip sort of guy, but I still think that there's more dip yet to come. I think that the price was sort of inflated, of course, when we saw its peaks back in February. Anyway, remember, this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not your dad. This video is only for entertainment, educational purposes only. Of course, I would recommend you guys all do your own research and comment down below so that I can get smarter. Anyways. Top performers of the day, Power Ledger 13%, Kyber Network 16%, Steam. For those of you who use DTube and these different alternatives to social media and stuff, definitely interesting to see that sort of thing playing out. And in particular, that is in keeping with an earlier prediction that I made here earlier last year, where I was talking about the concept of data and the increasingness of people being concerned about how Facebook and all these other platforms are treating them. As you are the product when you're using Facebook. Sort of awareness sort of is going to continue to spread, and I believe that that's sort of a perfect catalyst for blockchain technology as well. So of course we'll see what happens with the altcoins as well. This article right here I think is interesting, just as a quick update. So I mean, the crypto market is on the decline as Bitcoin falls. The crypto market remains vulnerable to sizable correction after a near 50% rally since December 19, subsequent to 100% gains. Major alternative crypto assets such as Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, EOS have fallen around 20% on average. So yeah, definitely something interesting to keep up to date on. Fiat inflows into the crypto market primarily come through Bitcoin. As such, alternative crypto assets tend to increase only when the price of Bitcoin recovers. So we'll see where things go from here on out. And anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my perspective here. I think we covered some really good information. I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure that you guys comment down below, subscribe, of course, put on post notifications and comment down below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.